everybody! Do you remember that we're learning all about the garden? Well, I have a lovely story to read to you. It's called Oscar Mouse Finds a Friend. And it's all about Oscar Mouse and his little friend living in the garden and in the city. There's lots to see and do, both in the garden and in the city. So let's see what these two little mice get up to. In a large country house, in a little dark cupboard, in an old sugar tin, lived Oscar Mouse. Oscar's favorite game was exploring. All day long, he would creep about the house, peeping into every nook and cranny, looking for new things. But Oscar had to be very careful. The house cat was always ready to pounce on a passing mouse. One day, as he tiptoed along the corridor, Oscar noticed a small hole in the wall. A bright beam of sunlight was shining in. I must see what's on the other side. He poked his head out. What a dazzling light! He shut his eyes tight. Then, very slowly, he opened them, one at a time. Wow! Great Jesus, he squeaked. How wonderful! It was a beautiful sunny day. Before him, a country garden full of colors and sweet smells. Birds were singing happily. Full of excitement, Oscar jumped out and landed in a flower bed. To a little mouse, it was like a forest. Look at all those beautiful colors in the garden. Can you spot a bug? I can see a snail there, a butterfly there, a teeny little ladybug there, and there. I can see a bee there. There are lots of insects in this garden. Butterflies and bees were flitting from flower to flower. Oscar stretched up to sniff each one. Oh my, he kept saying as he scampered about. So many new things to see. Oscar was so busy looking around that he did not watch where he was going. Suddenly, bump! He walked into something. He stared wide-eyed at a small furry face. Hello, said the furry face. Who are you? I'm Oscar, he replied. I come from the big house, but I've never been out here before. My name is Alfie, and I'm a field mouse, said the other mouse. I'll show you around. They went to see the greenhouse and the bee's nest and where the chickens lived. They climbed in the rock garden. They went for a swing. And they played hide and seek in the garden shed. That sounds like fun. But the most exciting thing for Oscar was the pond. Look at all that water, he squeaked. The water lilies made good stepping stones for Alfie. I'll race you to the other side. Last one across is a fat rat, yelled Oscar. They jumped from leaf to leaf. But in the middle of the pond, the leaves were wet and slippery. Slip, skid, splash! Oscar fell in. Help! He cried. I can't swim! Alfie knew what to do. He dangled his tail in the water so that Oscar could grab a hold of it. He pulled and pulled so hard. At last, Oscar came out, dripping wet and shivering. Just then, they heard a loud quack behind them. Oi, that's my part of the pond you've been swimming in, said the large duck angrily. Oh, I do beg your pardon, said Oscar, and the two mice scurried back to dry land. Don't worry, said Alfie. You'll soon dry out in the sun. And he looked for something to cheer Oscar up. He soon found it. What did they find? After half a dozen big, juicy blackberries, Oscar felt much better. I'd like to see what's going on what's outside the garden gate, he said. All right, said Alfie. Let's go. Outside the gate stood a big old oak tree, and underneath the oak tree was a pile of acorns. Oh-ho, what's this? Said Oscar. Are they nice to eat? I don't think you should touch them, replied Alfie. That's a very tidy pile of acorns. They didn't just fall off the tree. What do you think happened then? Ah, a squirrel. Oscar was about to pick one up when, quick as a flash, a squirrel darted up to him. Hey, those are mine, he shouted. Sorry, said Oscar. Then turning to Alfie, he whispered, Greedy fellow, I was only going to take one or two. Further on, Oscar found something very interesting indeed. A fantastic mouse hole, he shouted. Must be the home of a very important mouse. Shh, Oscar, whispered Alfie, and come away from there. We mustn't wake him up. What do you think's sleeping there? Suddenly, a fox popped his head out. He was a bit surprised to see the mice because he never had visitors. Hello, little mouse. Would you like to come in for a chat? He asked with a sly grin. Oh, no, thank you, shrieked Oscar and Alfie, dashing away as fast as they could. What a horrible monster, panted Oscar. It had even bigger teeth and fiercer eyes than the house cat. They had hardly got their breath back when the sunshine vanished and the sky turned dark. What's happening? Asked Oscar anxiously. Before his friend could answer, plop! A big, fat raindrop fell on Oscar's nose and made him jump. What's that? He squeaked. What do you think it is? Plop, plop, plop. Some raindrops from the rain cloud. Next minute it was pouring down. Oh no, I'm all wet again, grumbled Oscar, dragging his tail through a puddle. Time we were inside, said Alfie. My home is not far. Follow me, quick. Alfie's mouse hole was under a hedge. It was very cozy with a carpet of moss and feathers. They sat down to a supper of hazelnuts and mushrooms with a strawberry each for afters. Yummy, said Oscar. He soon forgot all about the rain and the horrible scary fox. At last it was time for Oscar to go home. Alfie showed him the way back to the big house, and they said goodbye, promising each other that they would meet again soon. Oscar curled up to sleep in his sugar tin. He was very tired, but happy. He had spent a wonderful day exploring, and best of all, he had found a friend. And there they are together, Alfie and Oscar, with all the beautiful flowers in the garden. I hope you enjoyed that story, and I hope you enjoy your gardens today. Bye for now.